Hello everyone, my name is Brian and welcome to another Warrior Wednesday. And this time it's a little bit different because we have reached Season 3. So all the items I'm choosing are not something I can say are 100% the best choice. I'm still figuring out a bit. I haven't played a lot of PTS, I've only played a few matches just to see the new Joust map. So I haven't got used to the new items yet. And also the relic system is still something I need to get used to. Well, let's just start off. We are going to take a look at Amaterasu today, the latest addition to Smite. And let's just start off with her passive. If Amaterasu hits someone with her basic attacks 3 times, she will apply an aura on them. And it's basically a debuff aura for everyone in range of them. It will increase the damage taken by 10%. So everyone will get 10% more damage taken while they are hit by the aura, while the aura is effective. But also everyone around them. You can have 3 active aura at one time. Well, I can, from experience from playing Amaterasu a bit, I haven't played her too much, but from playing her I can tell you, you will never even get 3 auras on, because that's just, need to have an insane attack speed and multiple targets in range to properly get all those targets. Let's continue with her 1. 1 is a bit interesting. It's not an attacking ability, but it's more of an aura, a bit like Hell's ultimate. It is an aura, but it also has an additional effect. So let's just talk about the 2 auras first. I'm now in the light aura. I'm not sure what it's called, but it doesn't matter too much. It basically gives you movement speed. At rank 1 of your first ability, it will give 5% movement speed in this choice, at this form at least. And it goes to a maximum of 25% movement speed. So that's a lot. If you max it out, you have 25 movement speed, you give it to yourself and everyone close to you. So that's really strong. The other aura is a damaging aura. It will increase the power you have. It will increase your power by 15 to 35. So that's also a very good amount of power. Physical as well as magical, and it also grants it to everyone close to you. When you activate, aka switch to the other stance, you will get a healing on yourself. It will heal each second for 4 seconds, so it will tick 4 times. And the healing will be at the minimum of 20 per tick and up to 60 per tick. But it also scales a bit with physical power, so you can get more healing out of it. Her second ability is her mirror. When she activates it, when she gets hit by abilities while it's charging up, so when you deal damage and you take damage, your shield will charge up, and when it's charged up, if you fire it, you will deal more damage with it. But while it's charging, you will take decreased damage, and that will scale from 3% at rank 1 of your mirror to 15% at maximum rank of your mirror. So you can get a decent amount of damage mitigation out of it. However, if your shield is charged up, it will not mitigate damage anymore, because it's only when it's charging. When it's charged, you can fire it. You can also prematurely fire it. It doesn't need to be charged, but it will deal less damage. The base damage is doubled when it's charged up. So that's really good. You always want to try and charge it up. You can see here I'm focusing down. Nice Aegis from the enemy Janus, preventing that last hit from an ultimate, which I will get back to later. One thing to take note is that your shield charges up for only 5 seconds. After that it will fire automatically. It doesn't matter if you're CC'd or anything, because you will still fire it. Her third ability, as you saw I used here, is basically a dash. You dash forward, there's a little charge up time on it, so it's not the most reliable escape. Also it can be body blocked, so you won't go through enemies. You will go through minions, but not through enemy guards. So that's something you have to take into consideration when you use it as an escape. A little charge up time, and it can be body blocked. If you hit someone with the dash, it deals damage, and it will also silence them. So it can be used offensively, it can also be used defensively to escape. Let's go over her final ability, her ultimate. For everyone that's used to Smite, has played it for a long time, you probably know the old Guan Yu ultimate. It's basically that, other than it does not have a silence. So what does the ultimate do? You will hit in a cone ability, in a cone area. As you can see here, cone, you hit once, you hit twice. The second hit will deal additional damage to the first, 20% additional damage. And it will slow. So your second hit will slow and deal more damage. Your third hit, your third consecutive hit, will deal 40% more than the base damage. And it will stun for 2 seconds. However, you need to hit every hit of your progression. So every single hit, you need to hit to make sure you have that stun. However, something that's very important to take note is that it doesn't matter what you hit. You can also hit minions and, for instance, hit the third hit on an enemy god. They will be stunned and they will take the increased damage of 40%. So that's something very different from the Guan Yu ultimate, because Guan Yu had to hit one enemy 3 times to get a stun off, and Amaterasu now only has to hit it once. As you can see here, I threw out my shield, it did a good amount of damage, was able to finish off. It is a projectile, so you can fire it at a good range. So it's probably the strongest, either that ability or her ultimate in her kit. Those two have combined a lot of damage. For instance, if you use your mirror, your second ability, and then use your ultimate, you will charge up your shield because you're dealing damage, or taking damage while you're ulting. That can also be the case. It also grants CC immunity. As you can see, I used here my ultimate, so that's also something you can use. Like I was saying, you can use your ultimate, you will deal the damage, the mirror will be charged up. If you hit the third hit on your ultimate, it will stun the enemy, and with that stun you can guarantee your mirror to hit, and it will deal an enormous amount of damage. You can basically one-shot any squishy that doesn't have a good CC immunity or a way to protect himself with your ult shield combo. Especially more later in the game, when you have a bit more power, it is extremely powerful. So, like I was saying, this is the season 3, so I'm not completely sure what the best build will be for Amaterasu. You need to build her a bit tanky. Good amount of additional health will help you out a lot. However, you also need to do some damage, because if you have no damage, you don't really have the best CCs. Although your ultimate is very strong, and you still have your one ability, which is an extremely powerful aura. The movement speed it grants is just insane. As you can see, I leveled up my second ability first, and that's just because it deals a lot of damage. But I tried a bit, and it's a lot better to level up your one ability second. And that's just because, well, if you level that up, you will give the movement speed, you will get more healing. It's extremely strong, a lot of extreme, but it's very strong in team fights. So it's definitely something you should pick up. As you saw, I was a bit overextended, I didn't have all my health, so a nice Aokuang, well, ultimate and combination to get me low enough was able to pick me up pretty fast. As you can see, I am going to get Cloak of Unrelenting Sorrow. It's a new item. It's pretty interesting item. It grants a lot of protection, 60 of both sides. It provides some cooldown reduction, 15%, so that's a good amount. And when you're below 30% health, you will release a shockwave that will stun enemies. So that's really powerful. And it also grants you some CC immunity. It has 1.5 minute cooldown, but well, it's still something very, very strong. Especially if you get bursted quickly, it's extremely useful. As you can see, the mirror did a good amount of damage, also on the Ao Kuang, dealing about 400 damage, even though I don't have a lot of power items. I did pick up power boots. I think power boots are the best for her, just because it provides you so much additional damage. As you can see here, I am trying to use my shield. It's unfortunately not enough, but Hercules is able to pick her up, so good teamwork on our side. We are trying to protect our Kokokan, but Mercury at this point with the sprint is just a bit too strong. As you can see, I switch up. You can see the healing ticks coming out when I activate my one. So that's a really useful thing. You don't want to use it too much to switch up. If you can use it very smart, because if you are in your damaging stance while you use your 2 ult combination, you will deal a lot more damage. And if you are getting in trouble or you need some healing or additional movement speed to chase someone down, you can do that by switching your stance, get additional movement speed, and just finish them off. As you can see, I switch stances, we deal more damage to Qin Chen that way, and we are able to pick him up a bit easier. So good stuff. Also something that is very good to do is hitting your opponent 3 times before you're using a combination, because they will have the aura of your passive with 10% additional damage taken. So she has a lot of things in her kit that work quite well with each other. So it's a guard that really is from the combinations, can get a lot of things out of it. But if you build her too much power oriented, she will have trouble getting out those auto attacks for her passive, or to charge up her shield close to anyone. However, her ultimate is very strong. As you see, I picked up Frostbound. Frostbound is very strong, especially for your passive. It's easier to stack up your passive if the enemy is slowed, so that will help out a tremendous amount. It also gives you some health, some power, so it's a really good item to pick up early. I went for it as first item just because it provides so much. And as you can see here, the ultimate, you can move around pretty fast in it, so I was able to move around in such a way that the enemy was not able to do anything about it, and I was able to hit 2 and line myself up that way that I could throw my mirror, hit them both. Unfortunately enough, the Ao Kuang is doing a lot of damage. He hit me with the Soul Reaver and the Polynomicon proc, so that was able to finish me off very fast when I was quite low. You will see I am going to take a look at some magical defense, because at this point the Ao Kuang does do a good amount of damage. They also have a Janus and a Qin Chen, so their main damage comes from the magicals. So after my executioner I will be electing to go for the additional magical protection. Even though I have 60 from the Cloak of Unrelenting Sorrow, it will help out a lot. And as you can see, the shield does do a good amount of damage even in clearing minions. So it's a very strong ability. I will also take a look at the actives. The first relic I chose was Sprint. I didn't feel like I needed the beads that much. I got pulled by Qin Chen a few times, but not like I feel I needed the beads instantly. And the Sprint will also help out a lot against the slow from Janus, or any other slow they might pick up with, for instance, a Gem of Isolation or a Frostbound. You can see here a good amount of damage coming out, and I figured he would go that way, so with my ultimate I was able to close the distance, get him out of his invisibility because he took damage, and with the Athena ult we were able to pick him up. So well planned ultimate on Athena's part, and a good hide and seek game from me. He didn't hide too well though, so we were able to pick him up. I am looking to engage a bit. We aren't too healthy, so I figured we could just head back a bit. I wanted to go for it, but since Hercules didn't elect to tank the tower or try to pull her Artemis, I didn't feel like engaging myself because I'm quite low. I don't have a lot of defenses or health. So that's the reason I chose for it. You can see I am a bit in conflict what Well, at this point, I'm looking at Bulwark because it provides you a shield when you're low, and it also provides some health, some magical defense, and I think some crowd control reduction. I'm not sure, but that's very powerful. I heard Ao Kuang going invisible. As you saw there, there was his decoy, so I just let him know I knew he was coming, so he would not surprise me or engage on me. So, how are we doing at this point? We're about even. They have a few more kills than us. They are having a lead about 1k. They are 1k above us, so it's not too much. All the towers are still up. Both towers on the left side are quite low and the right side are quite healthy. I am going to defend the left lane. You don't want to provide too much free gold for your enemy. I was grabbed by Mercury, but not too much of an issue. He didn't body block my dash. Also had my ultimate up, so I wasn't too afraid that something would happen. I haven't played Amaterasu that much. It's a guard that I find interesting. She has a lot of mechanics you need to get used to, and I don't know. I don't feel like she is the warrior I really enjoy playing the most. And that's just because she will also probably get nerfed. Her ultimate shield combo is a bit too strong at this point. So I'm just curious to see what they are going to do about it. But we haven't seen her in the Pro League that much, so who knows. Anyway, as you can see, I'm heading back. I am going to defend actually the tower. It has a bit of health left, and that's just enough that it needs to be killed by an enemy. That way you will again prevent the gold from flowing in too quickly. And as you can see, I am not sure what I want to get. The Heartwood Amulet provides a little bit less protections, but it also provides the aura, which is very good for my team. They also have a bit of healing, not too much. But the Pestilence also provides more magical protection. So that's a bit what I was choosing about. And the Bulwark, I figured I could go for it or not. But since the Heartwood would also help my team, I elected to go for that. They are diving my team. They finished off the tower like I was saying. And at this point I'm just going to ult. A nice Aegis from Artemis actually prevents the last hit, but Kapuk was able to pick her up. As you can see, I also picked up my second relic at level 12. It's a while ago, but I went for the beads because they do have a good amount of CCs. And it can help me to either engage on them harder or get me out of sticky situations. We have actually got a good team combo, if you ask me, because we have two warriors as frontline and an Athena, and Athena is just very strong. As you can see, I switch up my stance, giving the movement speed, and as you can see, it's a huge amount of difference in movement. You can easily chase down anyone. I think if you are against the Hell or Janus, with his threshold or the hell healing, that's the only way you can actually run away from Amaterasu. But Amaterasu is an aura, so it will continue to work. So I think they definitely will nerf the movement speed, because 25% movement speed standard is just too much. Something you will maybe or may not notice in this game, sometimes I elect not to change stance, because if I'm in movement speed stance, I'm able to get away a lot faster from the enemy. And if the enemy, even though I can use it for healing, if I can use my one for healing, but my movement speed will be decreased because I get the other aura. And because of that, sometimes I like to go to stay in my movement speed stance, just because it provides so much. And as you can see, nice combination of abilities. We're able to pick up the tower, we're able to pick up 2 kills, and me using my beads, preventing getting pulled by the Chin Chan. So very good team fight, really working out in our favor. At this point it's only Chin Chan left, and with my aura on him and the damage from my team, we're able to pick him up quite easily. Maybe you did or did not notice, when we were close to killing him, his Cloak of Unrelenting Sorrow procced, stunning everyone for a fraction of a second, and that way gave him a little bit of space, but was still not able to get away. As you saw, the last item I picked up was Ikeval. That was basically to deal with the 2 physicals they have, to reduce their power a bit, increase my attack speed tremendously, and that way I will be able to get my passive on them faster, which is very, very helpful. And as you can also see, I ranked up my Amaterasu to rank 1. Like I said, I hadn't played her a lot. I did do the most damage, and as you can probably noticed, her ultimate 2 combo is just very powerful. Her 2 on her own is also very powerful, especially if you can charge it up properly. But as I said, this build is basically, it's a bit difficult to figure out if it's the best build to go for, especially since they changed a lot of the items, providing less health or less defenses. They split it up a bit, the health and the defenses, so you really need to take the enemy into consideration while you pick items. I chose to go for the cloak because it was a new item. I wanted to try it out. It was a bit expensive, so maybe another item would have been better. For instance, the Hide of the Urchin, because that's just you get it a bit faster, it provides you protections, also provides some health, which this cloak did not. So that's something you could take into consideration. Anyway, I hope you guys learned something about Amaterasu. A very interesting god, has a lot of things in her kit that makes her very powerful, but also you need to really be careful when you go in, because you can use your dash offensively, it also silences, but if you are surrounded, you are in big trouble, because you don't have any good escape left. You do have your ultimate, but it's not really a reliable escape. I hope you guys enjoyed, I hope you guys learned something, and also enjoyed some of the new items. I didn't pick up too many of them, but the new relic system is also there, so you will probably see more new items. I will definitely try them out, because I'm very interested to see in how they will change the game and change the way you can play some of the gods. But anyway, as always, good luck, have fun, and I'll see you guys in the next one.